Welcome to the first ever session on Thought Leaders Cafe, a platform to talk about some of the challenges we face in everyday life and explore possible solutions. Today's topic is going to be on how do you get back to work after a break? We have our guest here, Aarti. She's a TPM at Amazon, and she has taken a break from her career and found a way to resume it. So, we're going to be talking to her today about how she navigated this challenge and learn from her experience. Hi, Aarti. Welcome to the
Hi,
channel.
Rana. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to be here on your channel and to debut your channel. I
Thank
really am
you.
so excited that you are hosting a channel like this. I'm very sure there is so much value addition for some of the topics that you have told me that you'll be discussing on this channel. So I'm very excited for this channel and I'm excited to be here. And I would also wish you a very good luck on the channel as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to keep this as a generic channel. So it's not just about IT, it's about any challenge that we face and then
Hmm.
find out any possible solutions and be this like guidance to others. And this
Mhm.
topic is really close to me because I had a break in my career as well for 8 months when I had my daughter. And I know how difficult it was to come back. And I've come across few of the other friends who are in similar situation. They want to come back and they do not know how to do that. So since I found you, you've done that and you're at Amazon at TPM. So I thought we'll just talk about it and then share our experiences with the audience today.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Aruna. I 100% agree with you that it's not easy to take a break. I'm sure a
Yeah,
lot of us struggle about trying to manage
yeah,
work and family and trying to keep it going
yeah,
instead of, telling ourselves that it's okay to take a break and we will
yeah,
figure out there is a path forward, there is a way to come back to work, and it's okay to take a break. It's something that I'm sure I've seen my friends struggle with that as well to convince themselves that it's okay to take a break. But in my experience, I think I have loved the fact that I have taken the break. It was not easy coming back, but I'm sure that is the reason we are here to share our experiences and thoughts and see how we can probably help others to get back to work. So yeah, I'm excited to share my experience on your channel.
thank you. So what were you doing before taking a break and what was the break about?
Yeah. So it's been a couple of things, right? And again, I want to also start off by saying that I just in a blink of an eye rather, would not mind doing this all over again.
That's
So
sweet.
that doesn't make me an expert, but it's just that, the fact that, life is so more important rather than, the fear of losing the work or getting back to work. I just want to emphasize the fact that, yes, you can take a pause and you can come back at any time.
Yeah.
Just want to reinforce that thought, right? Now, the break that I took, so the primary break that's on my resume is technically, and I keep fighting for it every time, is not really a break like a break. It is a break from the industry's perspective because I chose to go into teaching for 3 years, and
Mhm.
I taught Java programming courses in a community
Nice.
college for 3 years. So if you like logically think about it, Aruna, it's like Java programming courses. I'm in IT. It's not really a break like a break, right? Because I've like managed 25 students per semester, and I
Mhm.
had like 5 sections going on every semester. So it is quite a bit of, student engagement, expectation setting, being able to track their grades, being able to help them kind of keep up their track to be able to graduate on time. And then, of course, the fact that I was taking some of the industry experience and perspective back into the traditional college or academia is something where I really felt I was bringing a lot of value.
Yep.
And I didn't really feel that as a break.
Yep.
But when I was ready to come back to the industry, industry viewed that as a break from the industry. So it was like a
Mm.
3-year break,
Right.
right? So that was one of a break on my resume. But the second one was, of course, when COVID hit us
Yes.
hard, and I'm sure a lot of us had to kind of, scale back, to be able to support kids being,
Yep.
going to school from home and stuff like that, right? So it kind of so happened that I was wrapping up with my college tenure right about the time in 2019, and I had to take a 1 year break to just kind of get few things going at home,
Of course.
and
Yep.
then COVID happened. So it
Mm.
kind of extended into the COVID break also. So almost like it was like it's a 3-year college break and a 2-year break. Being home is what ended up on my resume.
Okay.
And that is what I was struggling to kind of justify when I was ready to come back into the industry.
Right. It's surprising how the industry looks at us when we have a break. When I see a resume and I see a break, and it's like, what did you do? It's kind of like a taboo. Life happens, break happens. That is probably not an indicator of your performance once you resume your work. That is something we need to, pass on as a message from this channel that you can take a break, life happens, but once you're given an opportunity again, you can always scale up and move as fast as you were when you were before the break. And this is a message to all the hiring managers. I'm a hiring manager myself. So I would not consider this as a factor to ignore a resume.
Right.
It's we should always give an opportunity to these folks who are coming back and groom them. Maybe technology has changed. I think that's what I faced when I was resuming. It was
Mhm.
more of a self confidence, like sitting at home for 8 months, but just with a baby, and then coming
Mhm.
back. Technology has moved faster, and
Mhm.
I was switching from consulting mode to full time mode. So that there's
Mhm.
a little bit of difference there. So I had to build that confidence in myself that I can do this again. And of
Right.
course, lots of studying and prep work and how to do the FD work.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was just 8 months and I could feel the difference. And if you've
Mhm.
taken for years, you need that guidance. And that is why companies should empathize with these folks, that they should be given an
Mhm.
opportunity, give them that platform to learn from where they left,
Mhm.
and then definitely put them back in the workforce. I'm
Yeah.
glad that we are talking about Amazon returnship here. You use that.
Mhm.
It's just going to be your experience. We are not representing Amazon returnship as a program or as Amazon. Just share your
Mhm.
experience. Like, how did you find this program and what it took to apply and get back to the job?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you that, this is definitely a message to the industry in general and the hiring managers in particular, or the recruitment in particular, right? I mean, I think all of us have to be given second chances. I mean, it's not even a second chance if you think about it. A lot of people take leave for a lot of different reasons, right? It could be a medical leave, it could be a caregiver leave, right? I mean, as you said, life happens and you need to kind of, take a pause to be able to move forward at times. And I think just understanding why they took a break and empathizing from with them is certainly, very important to keep the workforce coming back into work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I was ready to jump back into the industry, of course, I struggled so much with my resume and everything, and the different platforms. Do I go to LinkedIn for job search? Do I go to Indeed for job search, right? I mean, there are so many different platforms. Where do I go? What do I do? And actually, I coincidentally discovered returnship on LinkedIn. So I think I kind of had heard about it somewhere else on a Facebook, maybe like a Facebook recruitment. I think I'm not certain why I have that in my mind, but either ways, I think Amazon returnship is something that I encountered on LinkedIn and reached out to the recruiters, and it was an amazing experience, and I think it's a definitely. I feel all the companies have to kind of consider something, a program like returnship, right? I mean, you can call it anything, but it's basically a transition program, right?
Right.
So it's a transition program for people who have taken a break to come back into the industry, and it gives you that 16 weeks. So Amazon Returnship was a 16-week program.
Mhm.
So in the 16-week of program, I was given the opportunity to work on a live project under the
Okay.
guidance of the hiring manager, under the guidance of a mentor, and so I could kind of pick up, understand, or get exposed to the team, exposed to the culture, come back into how the industry is currently, right? I mean, sometimes if you've left the industry a long time ago, you need
Right.
that window into what the industry is right now. And
That's right.
that is what the returnship program was all about. And
Yes.
still, it could, from the hiring manager perspective, it was also window into the candidates working ethics, performance, how do they really engage themselves, how do they like you know look, how do they really work, right? So if you look at it, the returnship program was a win-win situation for both the candidate and
Right.
the hiring manager, because
Yeah.
both of us kind of got that perspective into, oh, this is how it is to come back into the industry, or
Right.
this is how it is to work for Amazon. And from the hiring manager perspective, it is also for them to understand, oh, this candidate is really, though with the break, they're ready to get back into the industry, and and that was the ramp up into the actual work. So once that 16 weeks ended, I just had to go through another interview to be able to be converted into full time. But even though it is called an internship, um, it's not like a college internship where they kind of give you a uh,
Okay.
scale down project to work on, right?
Right.
Usually for a intern coming into work from college, they usually offer them a scale down version. But here it
That's
was
right.
like everything was just the same,
Okay.
except that I had abundant support from my
Okay.
managers, from my peers, to kind of make sure that, when you're back into a very fast paced environment like Amazon, you have enough sufficient support to kind of, keep that going. So it's an amazing program. It's an amazing, I feel platform that every company should, kind of take it up.
Yeah.
Um, and it also gives every company so much access to all the workforce, but
Right.
very valuable workforce that is
Right.
actually had to take a break for so many different reasons. So the companies have access to all this valuable workforce that they can really that who can come back and make a difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And a couple of reasons, from what I have understood out of people I've spoken to. First is, of course, the break due to having a child. Like they want to take a personal break, and once the kid grows up, let's say 5 years old, they're comfortable sending them to school, and they want to come back to work first. That's one of the
Mhm.
major reasons I saw among women why they take a break from career. And the second one is obviously like when you're coming from countries like India to America, and you're probably married and you do not have good work visa so you're just there sitting at home, but you've been working
Mhm.
back at your home country, and you do not have this immigration, and eventually you get that, and then you're coming back. So these are two major reasons I saw, apart from other personal reasons, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of them, and they miss
Mhm.
getting back to work. And yeah, this Amazon internship and your experience is amazing. I wish every single one of them has similar experience and they can get back to work. I'm also not sure how many other companies have this program. I strongly encourage all the companies to have something like this. I know internship is quite
Very common.
common,
Uh-huh.
but not returnship. Even I myself was
Right.
not aware until one of my friends came to me. Hey, Orna, I was with Amazon at that time, and she wanted to
Mhm.
understand how interviews work within Amazon, and that's when I got to know about returnship. I was like, oh, this is
Mhm.
cool. It's really nice, and that's when I got this thought of even doing this session. I myself didn't know being within Amazon and how many
Amazon,
people,
yeah.
yeah, right? So how many people probably
Yeah.
do not know the way. Yeah, that's why this
Yeah.
forum is
No, I think,
important. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you that there is no it's not really rightly promoted. I think it was picking up like right before the slowdown began, right? Like a year and a half now that the market started to slow down a year and a half back with all the hiring freeze and everything. Before that, we were really doing a lot of webinars and promoting the program because, yes, nobody was aware of it. I mean, nobody knew that there was a program. Even you're absolutely right. Actually, there are quite a few people who reach out to me on LinkedIn or internal channels to say that, hey, I didn't know this program existed. How does this work, etc. So I kind of had seen, I think after I came into Amazon as a returner, I remember seeing returnship pop up in different different forums.
Okay.
But I think after the hiring phase started, Amazon itself has kind of, has put a pause on the program. So now that we are slowly, unfreezing the hiring freeze, I think, that's probably another important personal goal for me to
Mhm.
work with Amazon leaders to bring back this program this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I so agree with you that every other company should really look into something like this.
Yeah, and I really want to appreciate you, not just use this as a program to get in, but also becoming a champion of the program and trying to make sure like you take this message to a broader audience that they benefit out of it. That's an amazing work, Aarti. I when I wanted to find out somebody who can talk about it, I was looking for Amazon internship program, and I saw you and your profile there, and I pinged you, and you jumped right on it. Here and now, yeah, let's do this. This is going to be useful, and thank you for doing that. I'm pretty sure
You.
whoever is watching and who are planning to come back to the market, they would definitely appreciate all the feedback that you're giving on this channel. Um, so let's probably double click each step that you went through. So starting
Hmm.
from the resume building, right? So
Hmm.
that also matters because hiring managers do not spend a lot of time going through every single thing that you put on the resume. You
Hmm.
quickly look at it, you see what is the skill set, and what is the latest role. And if it doesn't strike, then sometimes people do
Hmm.
ignore the resume. So it has to sell you. So what did you do to get your resume back up and compelling for the hiring managers?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a very good question, and that's like the most important first step, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think the resume building itself, I think, has gone through phases. I think being in the industry for like 25 years now, I remember building resumes
Yeah.
in Word docs to what I currently use an online tool for resume building. So I'm sure that has gone through the phases per se. But what I did personally is I used an online resume builder called Novo Resume, I think. I remember the name Novo, Novo resume. So it's a pretty nice tool where you can really, adjust your format, and kind of they
Okay.
have their own templates and stuff like that. So you can really, you don't have to do a lot of thinking with a template and how to organize the information. They have done their research and they are presenting certain
Yes.
templates with you. You can just go with those templates. But definitely, I think even like way back 10 years ago, there was always, I remember keeping like two resume formats, I mean, or maybe three. I don't know if you also remember, but I used to have like a text, like a notepad version,
Okay.
and then there used to be like a 4 or a 5 page Word version,
Oh my
and
God,
then there
mine was
used
eight
to
pager. I was in this industry for around 20 years. I had an 8 pager document, which are now I concise into just 1 page. I realized, oh,
yeah,
actually, they all could go in 1 page. It's just like a
right,
simple highlight would be enough, and you can talk about it during the interview what exactly you did. You don't have to write the
yeah.
full story about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. So that's what probably,
Yeah.
I could gather from different online forums that I read, that, a one-page resume is the best. So I had formatted my resume as one page, just highlight your skills that you're really good at. Try to have a lot of it as a chart-driven
Okay.
depiction, so that
Mhm.
when hiring manager or a recruiter looks at your resume, it's kind of very readable,
Mhm.
and all the information is just jumping out to them rather than they having to look into your resume for specific
Yes.
information. So that's what I kind of learned, and then I had formatted my resume accordingly.
Right.
um, yeah. And then, of course, while taking a break again, one thing that I want to also share is that, if you get a chance, of course, right? I mean, I'm sure you would take a break for a lot of reasons, but if you get a chance during the break, keep the momentum going.
Yes.
Meaning to say, like, keep learning something or the other. It could be anything. Like, I had started to learn violin, so it could just be a music instrument, but it kind of keeps your mind engaged and keep it
Yeah.
going, keep it positive, and it builds up your confidence also, correct?
Absolutely.
So I had started learning violin, and I had started learning mobile app development, and I
So,
had started blogging on medium.com. So
mhm.
yeah, I I'm sure you might be aware of Medium as a
I have some
platform.
articles up there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a amazing platform to kind of
Yeah.
um, showcase your technical talent or anything for that matter. Because I have a travel blog on Medium and I have a technical space as well on Medium. So I just felt all these things kind of help me keep going, keep the momentum on,
Yeah.
and kind of help me build up the, or not build up the confidence, at least help me not lose the confidence, if I can
Exactly.
say it that way.
Yeah.
Because yeah, otherwise you kind of end up feeling a little stale being at home.
Yeah.
So
It
it
is
will,
true.
yeah. So that kind of helped me keep it going. Um, so those were the two important things. And then with regard to where you can showcase your resume. So now you have built your resume, where can you really go and look for a position, right? I mean, I have, I just felt it's so overwhelming to use like a lot of different platforms and websites. I just stuck to LinkedIn. I mean, I
Yeah.
just added um, job search notification. I said, these are the rules, these are the skills, send me a notification whenever something pops up. And, I used to keep a tab and keep a watch on all the positions that are opening up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But another important thing about resume building that I want to add and share is LinkedIn has this amazing feature about recommendations.
Mhm.
You can really reach out to people who you have worked with and have them leave you a recommendation on LinkedIn. So it is going to
Yeah.
build, it's going to be part of your profile. So yeah, so basically build your profile on LinkedIn. Resume is one thing, but making sure your LinkedIn profile is updated and whatever is in your resume is also, you know, on LinkedIn is another important thing. And then the recommendation feature on LinkedIn is very useful. So I had just reached out to everyone right before, like things happen, right? I mean, right before, or rather, right after, my entire team got laid off from Jones Apparel Group in 2015. And right after, I reached out to my colleagues at Jones Apparel and asked them to leave me a recommendation, and I wrote them a recommendation, right? So all of that got added to my LinkedIn profile.
Mhm.
Then, right after college, I had asked my, department chair to leave me a recommendation that is
Mhm.
taken there as well.
Yeah.
So that way, like people move on, right? You might not be able to go back and reach out to them when you need a recommendation. I'm not sure if recruiters really look at the recommendation. They've not really been asking recommendations per se, but some of them do depending on the role that you're applying for, right? So it's just
Mhm.
good to kind of, proactively
Yeah.
get it all in there in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I do
Um,
look like when I get my resume and I go to their LinkedIn profile and go through them, scan them, what others have spoken about them, what was their experience working with them. It's
mm,
nice to know about a person before you interview, and I can align the questions based on their experience, and it's been beneficial. So this is a very important point. It's all about building that portfolio for yourself, starting
exactly.
with resume, highlighting what are your positives, your strong points, and what exactly you're looking for, and finding a right platform. I found most of
Mm.
my jobs through LinkedIn only. I
LinkedIn,
didn't go
yeah,
for any
exactly.
other platform. I also
Hmm.
have rules set up if I want to be director, and so I'll have the
Hmm.
rules set up, location, and we don't want to get noisy notifications. So
Mm.
LinkedIn is, I think it's doing a great job. It does give
Yeah,
you something, probably sometimes unrelated, but pretty much it's accurate to what I'm looking for.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's been very useful. It's just also updated, right? Compared to other platforms,
yeah.
it's just stale jobs sitting out there. But I felt this is more
Hmm.
accurate in terms of how active the job market is. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely. So I think it's better to just cut off the noise and just stay with one
Yes.
platform, whichever you believe in. I mean, of course, LinkedIn works for both of us. That doesn't mean that it
Yeah.
is going to work for somebody else, right? So whichever platform you believe in, just stick to one so that you can kind of focus on one thing. I'm sure, there are others might also feel that, oh, it's better to like put it out there in a lot of platforms so that you can get
Yes.
noticed in various different platforms. But this is kind of what worked for me.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it'll work for
yeah.
me. So now we talked about the resume and where to place it. And now we also talked about setting up the right filters so we get notified so you can go ahead and apply. So when I was in the market, I used to go to LinkedIn every day to just search with all those keywords myself because notifications comes once in a day and jobs get
Mhm.
posted. And the sooner you get to it is better. So when you apply for those filters, like how do you separate the jobs that are return ship only for people who are returning back to job market versus somebody who's just active, like for experienced folks only?
Hmm. No, that's an interesting question. Good question, actually. The pr- when I remember looking at my returnship job posting, and the posting had returnship in it.
Okay. Okay.
So the posting had, it gave an overview of the program and it said returnship in the title. And as I said, I think I remember even Facebook and maybe even Tesla had some returnship opportunities. This was way back a year ago. But
That's
right
nice.
now, I'm
Okay.
not seeing any returnship opportunities because of the market, maybe. Um, but usually that's probably how you can separate out. But
Okay.
again, when I was looking for jobs, I wasn't like looking for just returnship. I was just ready to get back to
Okay.
work, right? So I was applying for both type. I mean, I was just applying for jobs, and I
Okay.
just found the returnship program, and then I applied, and it worked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but usually I think the job positions have returnship in them, and I've
Okay.
noticed that they do really have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think the question, I wanted to make clear that the question is you can apply for any job you see fit. But
Hmm.
I just feel
Hmm.
like returnship programs have a special platform to enable you and prepare you rather than other ones where you have to jump right in. But
Hmm.
it is no way preventing you from applying. You know, if you can do both, learn on the go.
Yeah.
In fact, pretty much all of us learn on the go. You know, sometimes, you know, the technologies are different, the domain is different, we just learn. So if you prepare for it, just go ahead and shoot your resumes to all of those jobs you feel interested in. My recommendation would be just to, you know, try for internship as well
Hmm.
because of the
Hmm.
enabling platform. So once we apply, again, the interviews for the regular jobs, right? So it
Hmm.
is, you know, Amazon interviews, so they're intense. So how was the
Yeah.
interview of the internship compared to a regular program?
Yeah. Yeah. So usually you're right. So I think that's where the returnship positions kind of differ from the regular positions, right? So the in the returnship positions, the interviewing, usually the Amazon interviews are like five steps,
Panels.
right? Like there are five panel interviews. The returnship had three panel interviews. So it was still the same behavioral and the
Technical.
technical and everything. But it was just three to start with. So
Okay.
when you're getting into the program, you have three. And then you finish your programs at the end of the 16 week. Again, there is this one
Okay.
interview with the bar raiser, and that is the one that you need to clear. So in that interview, is where you're kind of presenting all the work that you have done in the past
Okay.
16 week and discuss the work that you have done.
I
And
see.
yeah, so yeah, so you're right. Like returnship interviews are like little scaled down to begin with, but then you have to prove yourself and then take another interview.
Yeah, I think that makes
Mm.
sense, right? Because you're coming after a break and naturally you're not actively doing the coding and you need that brushing up. It makes sense. And they give you an
Right.
opportunity to learn on the go and also prove yourself at the end of that time period.
Mm.
And yeah, if you're good, then you're in there as a full-time employee. That's awesome.
Right.
Um, right. So if anybody is looking for, let's say they're watching this interview and they want to go ahead and then apply for a job or just find out resources about Amazon internship, what's the best place to go?
Mm. So as I said, I think we do have a landing page that you can find on Amazon.com. It's a for internship that will give you an idea about the program.
Mhm.
That is a 16-week internship program and how it is structured and everything. So you should be able to find it. I
Okay.
can look up for the actual link and send it to you so that we can post it in the comments.
Okay.
But there is a landing page for Amazon returnship, so you should be able to
Okay.
find us on the website. Except that it's currently paused because of the hiring freeze and everything. And I'm working with the recruitment and the leadership to kind of bring it back. Let's see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully,
Yeah.
things go fine and we can bring this back.
Yeah, market is quite bad right now. So it's
Hmm.
overall we have
Yeah.
hiring freeze in our company as well, and different companies that I know of. So I think once market is back, this program should be up and running, and it should be useful for people.
Hmm.
All right. Is there anything else, Arti, that you wanted to share?
No. Not really. Nothing. I don't have any questions on mine, but maybe if there are any um, questions in the comments that we see, we can probably do another live session another
Okay.
time and probably take questions from the audience at a later point in time. But with regard to everything that I wanted to share, this is all it. Yeah,
Okay.
I would definitely say, um, live your life. Take break if you have to.
Okay.
Yeah, market, is currently bad. It's bad getting a job. Forget about a returnship job, returnship position. The market is bad right now for everyone, but it's going to turn around and it's going to get
Yes.
better eventually. So it's just cycles, anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say like if somebody is planning to come back to market, let's not get discouraged by this the market situation. They can use this time for preparing. And you were talking about all the avenues they can do. They can even learning violin or teaching somebody, keeps yourself active,
Mhm.
and one more suggestion I would say is participate in open source coding. That is something that we can definitely contribute. It's outside of any organization. You pick up a GitHub repo of your choice,
Mhm.
and you can go through the coding standards and guidelines, and if you can create a PR and get it merged in open source code, that's a benefit because you adhere to those standards and guidelines, and you're there and it's up there in the public GitHub, and you can showcase this.
Mhm.
That's something that I would like to say. And developing apps too, right? That's
Mhm.
another, like, you can work it at your own pace and
Yeah.
your time, and you get an app out there, and that's also something that's on your resume and it'll add value. So we can keep doing
Yeah.
something like this during the break, and when you come back you're ready to hit. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's such a valuable advice about, picking up from the open source
Yeah.
GitHub. So that's really a good advice. Yeah. Maybe the one other thing that I forgot to mention, Aruna, is like there are these programs, organizations, Path Forward
Mhm.
and Women Back to Work. So all these organizations actually are working to help returners back to work as well. So some of
Mhm.
these organizations also have, they kind of work with these companies
Okay.
to learn about the opportunities in the companies for returners. So, attending all these webinars that Path Forward has, or Women Back to Work has, is also, it's going to be a helpful thing. I
Yeah.
didn't do that, but I've been on the Path Forward webinars promoting the returnship program, and that's how I know
Okay.
it. But yeah, but there were a lot. So basically, there are information sessions, and they will tell you which companies are offering returnship programs. I kind of remember. I think even Warner Brother at one point in time had
Okay.
some
Nice.
returnship programs, so positions. So just like tapping into one of these companies, being in touch with them will also kind of give you, it will lead you to these companies that are promoting returnship and giving opportunities to returners.
Wow. I just learned, like, a lot of other companies are offering this program. I knew only about Amazon. That's amazing. And this is going to be useful for the audience as well. Thank you so much, Harti. It was wonderful having you. This was very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aruna, and keep up the good work. I'm really excited for your channel, and yeah, good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Talk to you again.
Yeah, talk
Bye
to you.
bye.